Hello, everyone. Yesterday we began the second week of our course, and as usual, I'm recording a video to give you some guidance. But before I talk about the second week, I think it's only fair that I mention something very important to you. In D2L, there is a reports tool that the system offers that shows me your performance during the course. I usually I feel that I don't have to be using this tool because it's like by doing this I should be like policing the class, and I don't think this is my function. My function is to be here for you to help you have a good performance and not to be chasing you whether you have read the material or not. I'm going to be choosing one of my courses only to give you an example of what I'm talking about. The bottom line of this introductory explanation is that I know who is working in the class. I know who hasn't get connected on not even once in the course. I know the material that you have been reading, and this usually goes hand in hand with the end result. So now that the first week is over, I think is we still have time to reconsider what we are doing in the class. For example, I'm going to be choosing one of the three sections that I'm teaching right now, 4870, and I'm going to show you what I mean by this reports tool. Um, if I go over here to the syllabus and content, and I check in the table of contents, I have access to these tools over here, and I can view the reports week by week and activity by activity. For example, I'm going to be using week one, and by the end of the first week, all of you were supposed to have read all the information in the class, and I by checking the numbers here, I have 25 students in this class. The planner, only 19 students visited the planner, only 21 visited the welcome tour, only 17 read the learning object of week one, which is critical because in this learning object you have something that doesn't appear in my class anymore, which is rhetorical reading, what text annotation is, what reading rhetorically means. And I don't know how you'll be able to implement annotated critical readings if some of you haven't read the learning object. I'm going to be choosing this one, the learning object, which is crucial to show you what I mean. If I click on the number of, of students that have visited the page, I get the total number of users, 26, 17 only have visited the page, and with an average time spent of 11 minutes in the page. And then you see that some students haven't even opened the page. I'm going to check one that has actually indeed opened the page, for example here, and this student over here. I'm going to be uh, this student over here, for example, has visited the page 5 times and has spent an hour reading the information. So there are students that haven't even read the information. So this is important for you to know that I have access to this information. At the end, when I evaluate performance, when I see the effort that you have been making, I just come back to this to the reports tool, and I know has been working. So it's important that you know that I'm using this tool, and I think it's only fair that I mention this right from the outset. So after this warning that I'm giving you, and I'm going to go to the second week to show you what you have to do during the second week. As usual, you have to open the planner And in the planner, you have all the information, what you need to study from the book, what you need to study from the learning object. And in this second week, you have to start doing these exercises. The first quiz, which is the language corner, parallelism in the sentence. Remember that you have multiple attempts in these quizzes, and the system is going to record the best grade. I know how many attempts you took, but the system, I programmed the system in a way that it would keep the best grade that you have received during your performance. If you tried 3 times, the best grade out of the 3 is going to be selected. In this second week, we have the first partial test, which is about um, thesis statements. You need to study week 1 and week 2 for this uh, partial test that would take place on Friday from 4 to 23:55. It's going to be open from 4 until 11:55. You have only one attempt, and once you access the test, you will have a limited time. You will have 30 minutes to complete it. The first partial test is about the thesis statement, and as you will see here, you have quiz number 3, which is a regular exercise, is about thesis statement. So you have to do this exercise before taking the test. So don't wait until Sunday to do this exercise, because otherwise it would be pointless. And in the self-assessment, you have the same thing: the writing process, the word the phrases, and using appropriate words. So remember, take the third quiz, the third exercise before Friday, which is the first partial test. Once you know what you have to study, it's essential that you come and open the learning object as usual. In the learning object, you have my interpretation of the course material for the week. I would recommend you reading this learning object because you have here the thesis statement, information about the thesis statement. If you didn't study the learning object, you won't find this information in your book. So it's essential that you come and study this in depth before taking the quiz. And so, and as usual, you have the exercises here, the quizzes, and in the second week you only have quiz 1 and quiz 3, and quiz 2, which is the partial test that will be available from 4 until 23:56 on Friday. You also have the self assessments over here. Uh, Over here, the self assessments. I come seem to locate them because since D12 has a new uh, a new design now, it changed location. The self-assessments are here. Okay, in under activities, you have the self-assessment of the week, and in week 2 you have 3 self-assessment: the writing process, word phrases and redundancies, and using appropriate words. As I recommended to you, to the ones that watched the video in introducing the first week, that you had to uh, keep a record of the results of these exercises. For example, here, once you do the exercise, since the system won't record your performance, you may want to keep a record. For example, when you clicked on an incorrect answer or a correct answer, or if you clicked on an incorrect answer, why you thought it was correct, and then you had to give me the reason when you write the qualitative self-assessment in week 4. So this is week 2. I started this recording with a reminder, and basically I want this recording to act as a reminder that I'm uh, that I have access to everything that you do in the class, that we leave a digital trail in what we do, and especially in a platform like this. So please be wise, take my word of advice, and do everything, read everything, and do it all along the week. Don't leave it until the end, and that way you would stay out of harm's way. So I'm here again. I'm giving you the chance to contact me if you are still in doubt. And as I told you, I'll be on my way to Quito very soon. If you need anything more personal, so I'll be around the university. So I'll be in Quito on Thursday. Thank you, and please get to work on the week's material because we have a test on Friday.